Hi everybody. Unit 7, Lesson 5 here. Problem solving with multiplication and division. So similarly to the problem solving with addition and subtraction, we're setting up equations, solving some of them, but not all of them, okay? But it's really about pulling the information from the word problem to be able to solve, okay? So this first one, this is number 1 from your practice. It says, Miss Garcia surveyed the students in her class to find out if they own a pet. 2/3 of the class, or 8 students, own a pet. Complete the equation that models the total number of students, T, in Miss Garcia's class. So first off, it's 2/3 of the total class. And of, that little itty bitty word, so first off we need this, 2/3 of means to multiply. So 2/3 of the class. Well, this is the total class, T, right? That's the amount we don't know. So 2/3 of the class being multiplied together is equal to 8 kids. So that's what you'd fill in on the other side, okay? Now, that's as far as this makes you take it. It's just 2/3 of the class is equal to 8 kids, right? Now, if we were to solve though, okay, it's the same thing as needing to do the opposite operation, which right now we're multiplying, so we would divide. But with fractions, dividing is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So really, I could skip a step if I wanted. You don't have to. You can still go through with setting up the division. But you can notice that this would be equal to 6/6, which is equal to 1, right? So those cancel each other out, and we're just left with T. 8 times 3 is 24, and 24/2 equals 12. So that means that there were 12 kids in the class altogether. Now again, you don't need to do that, but I figured why not take the opportunity to make sure we know how to solve them. Number 2, this is number 4 from your quick check. No, not from your quick check, I apologize, from your practice. A store is selling ribbon by the yard. Mike bought 8 yards of red ribbon. Each yard cost $3.50. Complete and solve the working equation that represents the amount A Mike paid for buying 8 yards of ribbon. Okay, so really, like, to solve, what are we doing? We're going to be multiplying both sides by 8 in order to get these to cancel, right? So really we need to figure out, well, what are we multiplying by 8? And that would be the $3.50, right? Because it's $3.50 per yard. He bought 8 yards. So multiply those together. So this would be $3.50, which I believe is part of your problem. That's like what you need to actually put in there. It's $3.50. But we also need to solve it for A. We need to figure out, well, what is A, or how much did Mike actually spend? So we would take $3.50 and we'd multiply it by 8. Remember, when you're multiplying with decimals, you can ignore it until the end. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. So 0, carry your 4. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. We have 2 numbers behind the decimal in our problem, so we need to move our decimal over 2 spots in our answer, giving us a final answer of $28. Okay? Okay. Last one for today. This is number 3 on your quick check. Vicky bought 3.5 pounds of oranges. Each pound costs $3.90. Which of the following equations represents the total cost C Vicky paid for the oranges and the amount of money she spent? Okay, so first off, let's see. She bought 3.5 pounds of oranges, so we know her total. Each pound costs $3.90. All right, so that's for 1 pound. So if she bought 3.5, in the long run, we need to be multiplying by 3.5. Okay, So that gives us, that's this problem here and this problem here. And the reason why is because in order to cancel, right, I would multiply by 3.5, 3.5. Well, over here that doesn't make sense to multiply by $3.90 and 3.5 pounds. I mean, it does, but if we do that, then we cancel out on that side, right? So that doesn't make sense. So with the way mine are structured, it's going to be D as the answer. It might be different on yours though, so be careful. Now, one thing I want you to notice, like, it doesn't make sense that she paid a total of 90 cents. If each pound costs $3.90 and she bought 3.5 pounds, right, then those need to be multiplied together. So let me get that up on my calculator, right? So that would be $3.90 per pound times 3.5 pounds that she bought. Well, there's that $13.65. So it has to be either B or D in this case. Okay? Now, and then with this, if we were to put the $13.65 in here divided by the 3.5 pounds, we would get back to the $3.90. So that's why that one is the correct setup for the equation. Now, sometimes with problems like this, the best thing for you to do is, like, don't even look at the answers. Wait to look at the answers until you have your equation set up and see, is my equation here? And see if you get it right. Okay? So, anyway, reach out if you need any extra support, as always.